When
Your,
I
your
was
perception
um,
and knowledge of something are always bound to the interpretive perspectives of those observing it.
yeah, but I also think that whatever subjective conclusion you come to, those subjective conclusions are actually resonance of an objective truth that actually exists, whether it's knowledge, whether it's um, existence itself, or whatever. And this is what I mean, that knowledge or truth exists in the absolute sense, but very difficult for an imperfect minds like humans to have a complete grasp of the totalness of that truth. And somehow, because of that, we tend to experience the truth, that this we tend to somehow perceive the shadows of that objective truth. And that's what I term as the relative positions to truth. So somehow truth exists in the objective sense, and we are all trying to deduce it from our experience, and our experience basically somehow uh, allows not really. I want to use the right term. So we, as human beings who are fallen beings, we can only experience the shadows of these objective truths, and that's why I say that people will say, okay, it's subjective truth versus objective truth. I said no, they are actually one is contingent on the other. So anybody who argues for subjective truth is like to have a boat without a paddle, right? Because I feel that those subjective truth itself are resonance from the objective ones, that unfortunately, as imperfect minds, we cannot view it completely like God would, and therefore we tend to deduce the understanding of the truth based on our relative position. So if I'm an African and I'm looking at the sun, I see the sun as a god from maybe my village, or maybe, but really we know the sun exists. And uh, apart from what we see, the sun goes way deeper. There is more reality to the sun than human beings have discovered, whoever discovered. And because of that, we can only speak from that relative, you know, position. But objectively, that sun with its entire reality exists. You see, so I am an objective person. I believe more truths are objectives, but we are experiencing those objective truths in the subjective sense. I don't know, yeah, if that makes sense, and that puts a lot of things into context. And someone might argue, are you saying that all religions are the same, or maybe probably they are all moving towards the same truth? And I'm saying that that's not what I'm saying, because there are some observations that at least we can all agree to be false. For example, if somebody tells you that the sun is in the ocean, we all know very well it isn't. A black eye is a black eye, irrespective of your perception, or maybe your relative position. Right? There are things that the physical world, somehow we can see things in close to the object. But then if we are using other machines to look at the same thing, realize that, oh my God, there's more to the black car than just the black thing we see. So I feel truth exists in the absolute sense, in an objective state, real, and truth is actually God in the sense he is the logos. And somehow, because that logos is infinite in nature, we are somehow experiencing the logos in some perspectives. We're seeing it from our relative position. I don't know if uh, um, that is it. Well, what do you think?